of the night off. Okay.
Yeah. Go get a shake, man. Go get a shake for a hamburger.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
Don't be sorry. You know you were very versatile. You talked to another computer, and we're back. So what we'll do is we'll kick it off from the top. So good evening. My name is Dan, and 2SRK, Parker Radio Association Club President. We're glad you're here for the June monthly meeting here on YouTube Live. We're going to kick it around the room, but before I do, we'll kind of go over some things that we're highlighting tonight. First and foremost, we're going to be going over one of the cornerstone events for the PRA in the month of June, which I think most are familiar with, ARRL Field Day. So we have a great presentation that's lined up for it. So what we're going to end up doing is we'll go through some of the business side. And then once we're through some of the business, we're going to jump right into the presentation on ARRL Field Day, a quick fly through, just a brief summary that Paul's going to give from last month's presentation. And then we're going to dive pretty deeply into N1MM logging software. So great stuff that's lined up tonight. So without further ado, I'm going to kick it around the room. First is Patrick, our Vice President, AI8C. Patrick, good evening. Any updates from your side?
Hey, thanks everyone for being on the call this month. Hope everyone's doing well and keeping safe. And look forward to the awesome presentation that Dan's going to be giving. Thank you, Dan.
All right, Patrick, thanks for doing that. Next on the list, I'm going to get done quickly with these presentations and then turn the meeting over to our facilitator, but he's also the bean counter, our club treasurer, Justin, AE2L. Justin, over to you.
Hey, Dan, thanks for taking the net, and appreciate that. Looking forward to this meeting again, and back to net control.
All right, sounds good. And the guy who's probably taking the biggest sigh of relief right now, Wayne, N08. Wayne, any pearls of wisdom for from you tonight?
Oh, can't wait for Field Day to get on the air, and looking forward to seeing everybody. And glad we got this ironed out. I'll have to drink a beer after this.
Sounds real good. Thanks, Wayne. Next is our secretary, Elizabeth, N1RDH. Elizabeth, good evening. We'll throw it over to you.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and you've been joined to us. It's been a little bit of time getting on the air tonight. I was fashionably late, but I wasn't late. Thanks for joining us, putting up with us. Back to you, Dan.
All right, Elizabeth, thanks. You were worried about being late, but guess what? It worked out perfectly. We were the ones that were fashionably late. Next from the officers list, John, N4SJW. John, good evening. We'll throw it over to you.
Thanks, Dan. Good evening, everyone. Gosh, I can't believe Field Day is here next week. I am so looking forward to this. Dress warm, and this way it'll be nice and hot next week, and we won't freeze. So other than that, nothing further. Back to Dan.
All right, John, thanks again. A couple other people that are in the control room here. We'll kick it around to some of our committee personnel. First, we'll start with Jeff, AB0L. Jeff, good evening. We'll throw it over to you. And I like your shirt, by the way. Very Field Day-ish.
Always got the Hawaiian shirt on. Hey, good evening, everybody. CQ Field Day, just around the corner. I know I still got a lot of packing to do, but the most important part, the Tacoma bar is fully provisioned. I think I've got 10 bottles, and the beer went on gas this morning, so we're set. Anyway, looking forward to tonight's presentation.
All right, Jeff, very good. Thanks for being here tonight. Next, we'll kick it over to Doug, KE0DC. Doug, good evening.
Evening, everybody. Just a reminder, Patriot VE is doing extra class testing at Field Day. So if you don't have your extra, that'll be your chance. And I'm always updating the licensing and upgrades on the PRA website. Back to net control, KE0DC.
All right, Doug, thanks for that update. Yeah, I got a feeling we may have maybe an extra or two in the works come Saturday, so that would be real good. Next is Tom, NI0L. Tom, good evening. We'll throw it over to you.
So I've got a quick update on a couple different things. One is the sign up for the field day. We got 23 people in the campsite, so looking forward to that. And 33 people currently signed up to come to dinner. So I want to thank a couple of people that have been on the committee to get us there. It's Brent, Douglas, Randy, and Paul, and then we've also got Dan and Ray on the technical side. And I want to give a big thumbs up, attaboy to the club, because we've got all of our slots lined up for additional duties that we added this year. So I want to thank Randy Williamson, Stam Gride, Tom Lash, Julie Williver, sorry, Jacoby Wilson, and then Benjamin Williams signed up for 2 slots. So attaboy to him. And also the last one was Alan Beebe. So we're pretty much in good shape on everything. We're still looking for some more coax, but otherwise we're in way good shape. Looking forward to it. Back to Net.
And hey, real quick, AE2L comment.
Yes, AE2L, go ahead.
For those of us that have ordered sweatshirts, do we know if they're going to be warm for us at field day, or are we going to need to make other arrangements for sweatshirts?
So you're probably going to make other arrangements. Last I heard, we had around the ballpark of 15 or 16 out of the 30 that we needed for the minimum order. So that is progressing, but probably won't be there for field day. So thanks for asking.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Back to Ned.
Thanks for the update, Tom. Good stuff. My partner in crime tonight, Paul, AC5S, last but not least, we'll throw it over to you.
Well, guys and ladies and everybody, I am stoked, man. Field day's coming up. We are excited about that in this household anyway. And as Ray has mentioned on several occasions, field day is better than Christmas. So, I know Ray will give us a thumbs up there. And you know what? It's a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it. We've got everything ready to go pretty much. And Elizabeth has promised us good weather. And from what I'm seeing, it's going to be good weather. So it's going to be fantastic. So let's get going next week, and everybody will have a great time. Back to Net Control.
All right, Paul, thanks for that. Much appreciated. So the cool part is that since I'm giving a presentation, I am now going to turn the balance of the meeting over to Justin, AE2L, to facilitate. So Justin, we'll throw it over to you.
Hey, thanks, Dan. And just in time, I'm doing the last bit of my dinner here, so work through that, and we'll get through this presentation in the evening. I will admit that I don't have the agenda in front of me, so I'm going to go out of order apparently, and or if you give me 20 seconds to pull that agenda up. Apologies for that, everybody. It's totally my fault. You can blame me. Dead air from AE2L.
Oh, it's all good. So yeah, I think the couple things that we have here, probably the treasurer's report is next on the list.
I've got it up though. No, actually, next on the list, Dan, is the new member welcome.
Yes.
So if you're watching this on YouTube Live, we do have a 5-second delay. But if you're a new member, please let us know in the chat there. So let us know and welcome. We're thankful that you're here, and welcome to the club. And let's take a look at the chat there in YouTube, see if any new members chime in and say, hey, I'm watching. Sorry for the late start, 23 watching now, it says. So
yeah, Jeremiah did say that he can pick up some coax if needed. Just let him know the links.
Well, cool. New members can pick up coax too if they're interested, by the way. So, yep. So, seeing nothing with new members, let's jump into the treasurer report here. And let me see if I can present my screen here.
All right.
I do have that staged. So, checking balance for the PRA, 6,125.33. Year to date, including a check we've received but not yet deposited, almost $1,300, $1,298.52. And Amazon Smile, $140.20. I've mentioned this on the net, but I just want to remind everyone, you can now use Amazon Smile on your mobile device. So on your mobile device, they now support Smile settings for the mobile. So you can, every time you buy something on your phone, you can now support the PRA. So go ahead and check that out. Ray has a lot of coax there.
I think
Ray,
he
we're
was also
talking
holding up the
about money, Ray. We don't want to see coax right now. So Jeff, thanks very much for the weekly.
Here, we got that too.
Perfect. There's a check from Kroger. Can you show Ray the part that says, like, you know, the Kroger? It has some warm and fuzzy Kroger Corporation thing on there.
Highly satisfied customers made this check possible.
Yes.
Woohoo!
So thank you, Kroger, and thank you to everyone else who's participated in that. And thanks, Jeff, for the weekly updates. We've crossed 160. I have it on good authority that when we reach 200, Dan is going to shave his head. Maybe he'll shave his beard. I don't know.
Whoa, wait a minute.
I don't know, Dan. Gotta throw it out there. Just saying.
Maybe I'll shave my head.
I like that.
Anyway, so we're creeping up. Thanks to all the new members and welcome. And one of the things is that, you know, there's no secrets in the money. What we spend, we have stuff that we've got regular fees and things that we spend money on, you know, D-Star reflectors and insurance, and most importantly, field day. So we've got money set aside for field day and all that, and repeater committees and all that. So if you ever have any questions on the financials, what we spend money on, what we have money saved up for, please reach out to myself, and I'm happy to communicate with you about that. There are no secrets. We're an open organization. So anyway, with that, I'm going to throw it back to myself as net control for the next topic, which is to Dan for ARRL division updates and section updates. Dan, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Justin. I think you're still sharing your screen, Justin, so you'll want to disengage that. So yeah, from the ARRL front, a couple updates that are going on. First and foremost, I think everybody's well aware that HamCon 2020 has been postponed. It hasn't been canceled. It's been postponed. So we pushed it back a year. So there'll be more details that'll be coming out regarding those dates as soon as we get some commitments and dates lined up with obviously the venue. So that kind of reopens all the planning and negotiating things that need to happen. So again, keep an eye out, and as further updates come out regarding HamCon 2021, we'll get those out to you. So more to follow on that. Also, you may have noticed Robert N0ESQ, who is the Colorado section manager, has made some new appointments within the section staff. So there's going to be some updates that will be posted on the Colorado section website or their link through the ARRL.org webpage. So be sure to check those out. Some really great appointments. Some people we actually know through the PRA who have been supporters of the PRA. So I think you'll be really interested in some of those announcements. So got a lot more details coming out. So a lot of moving and shaking just within Colorado as it pertains to the section, the management staff, and the support staff behind it. So with some of the changes that our section manager, Robert, has made, the Colorado section is in really, really, really good hands. It's a really strong staff. It's a group of dedicated amateur radio operators, and lots of good things are going to be coming out of the Colorado division. So keep an eye out for that. You may have seen email blasts if you're an ARRL member regarding that. And if you're not an ARRL member, get yourself over to ARRL.org. So your yearly membership is much more than just the 12-month subscription to QST Magazine. That subscription also goes into various events and funding of activities. And one of the big things that's out there primarily, you may not realize it or not, is that the amateur radio operators, we've been allocated some pretty amazing pieces of frequency spectrum. But obviously, in being given those pieces of frequency spectrum at free of charge, of course, they have recently become very, very popular from commercial entities. So the commercial entities are starting to hover around the nest of those frequency allocations. They want them. They're flashing dollars. They're looking to throw out some big money towards it. And with that, we have to defend our spectrum. So no matter what bands that you operate on, get on the air. That's really important. That's a great way to protect the frequency spectrum. We want to show activity that's on the air. But most importantly, your annual membership to the ARRL is more than just QST magazine. If you're a smartphone user or an iPad user or any of the other tablet users, you actually have access to a electronic archive. And believe it or not, and I just found this out with a new iPad that I got, I can actually not only access the archives, but I actually get QST a little bit earlier than when I get it in the snail mail. Which is kind of cool. You also have access electronically to the quarterly magazine that's come out for new hams on the air, which is really cool. And you also get electronic copies of the National Contesting Journal, as well as several other publications. So a great resource. It goes a long way. If you have any questions regarding ARRL membership or what it supports, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be happy to walk you through any questions that you may have. So that's about it from this end. As far as the ARRL updates, we'll send it back to you, Justin.
Thanks, Dan. AE2L Net Control here for the meeting tonight on YouTube Live. And next up on the list is Doug in the VE Testing Committee. Doug, what's going on with testing and VE stuff?
Evening, everybody, again. There's a lot going on. I went to the ARRL list of VE teams and posted that in the forums. That's wherever you are in Colorado, you can find a test near you, is what I'm saying. But like I said, we're testing extra at Field Day. Well, Patriot VE team is. I'm not going to be there. And there's another test in Chaffee Lake from Chaffee Lake Amateur Radio Club coming up soon. Next testing was Saturday for Patriot. There were a few slots left, but technician class coming up in July, the first 2 weeks, Monday and Wednesday. It's 4 sessions. It's an actual class, not a cram session. So you have a chance to ask questions. And I'm helping teach that too. And that's about it from this end. Back to you, Justin.
Hey, thanks, Doug. Next up, we've got Net Control Committee, but there's nobody. I think Brian's not with us tonight. So I know that the Net Control Committee is looking to offer a Net Control training class coming up soon, where you can hone and learn the skills required to operate a net and take charge of the airwaves and keep everyone coming through you so it doesn't get out of hand. So we're looking forward to that. Does anyone else that's on the YouTube session want to mention anything about the Net Control Committee, or can I move on to Repeater Committee and Elmer Committee updates?
Yeah, the only thing I want to mention on the Net Control Committee, number one, we need signups for Net Control. So if you're a little skittish and you're a little scared about being a Net Control operator, that's perfectly normal. I can remember the first Net Control I did back in 1992. I joined a Philadelphia amateur radio club, one of the largest ones that's out there, the Holmesburg Amateur Radio Club. So shout out to my former club back in Philadelphia. And the first net that I did, I think there was somewhere around 70 some check-ins that night. So that was baptism by fire. And you want to talk about butterflies, they were aplenty. So don't, if you're nervous about signing up to be Net Control, that's perfectly normal. And like I say on the nets, it's not a John Wayne position. You're going to have a backup Net Control, and you'll have people that'll be there to support and guide you. You can't mess it up, which is the really cool part. So a couple mouse clicks that quick at parkerradio.org, and you can sign up to be a Net Control operator. The best part about being a Net Control operator, it really, really hones in your listening and copying skills, which we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, and that's how we should use them effectively within amateur radio communications. Back to you, Justin.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate that. And next, let's go over to Paul for a update on the repeaters and the Elmer Committee.
Yeah, thanks, Justin. Well, the Elmer Committee is still active. We're working in the background, setting up the Elmer meeting, which I believe is next week. And we're looking forward to when we can get together again in person at the library. We're hoping that's going to be sometime towards the end of the summer. We don't know that to be the case, but everybody's really excited about it. We have several really exciting things planned for Elmer Night when we can actually get back together in a face-to-face setting. So Stay tuned. We'll have some more information on that here in the future. Also, the repeater committee. Well, there's been a lot going on in the background there as well. The repeater committee has put together a proposal for the PRA board, so we can potentially start getting some of our repeaters moved and up on the air at our two new sites, which is one called the Hollywood Hills site and two called Squaw Mountain. And everybody's familiar with Squaw Mountain, of course, and Hollywood Hills is east of Parker. So the board will be reviewing that proposal this week, and if we get a thumbs up, then we'll move forward with the Hollywood Hills site. If we decide to go another route, we'll start planning a different strategy for deploying our Fusion repeater. But either way, we're going to get the Fusion repeater on the air hopefully within the next 30 to 45 days. The Squaw Mountain site is turning out to be a little bit more of a headache than we had hoped. We are struggling to get internet connectivity up there, but John N4SJW and a few people have been working on that, and we feel like now we can get connectivity up there, and so we're trying to get that finalized so we can actually put a repeater or two at the Squaw Mountain site, which is at 10,000 feet, by the way, and will be an absolutely fantastic site for PRA repeaters. One last quick note, you may have noticed that the W0 CFI repeater is going to move. It's going to actually go down sometime over the next couple days and maybe down for a day or two or maybe just a few hours. But when it comes back up, it will also be at that new Squaw site. So look forward to some enhanced capabilities with the W0 CFI repeater when it gets moved up to the Squaw site here over the next few days. So if you're trying to access the repeater, then keep in mind it may be down and in somebody's vehicle moving from one site to the next. And don't panic, it'll be back on the air shortly. I want to thank everybody on the repeater committee for all their hard work. And I know the PRA board appreciates that. And we actually have a meeting set up for tomorrow night, I believe. And kind of exciting, the PRA board's going to join us. So we're looking forward to that tomorrow night. That's pretty much it. If anyone has any questions about what's going on with the repeater deployments and the moves and that type of thing, feel free to drop us an email at www.parkerradio.org. And that information will get to me, and I will make sure I get back to you to answer whatever question you have on the upcoming repeater deployments. That's pretty much it from the AC5S Shack and the Elmer Committee and the Repeater Committee. Back to you, Justin.
Hey, thanks, Paul. Yeah, it's been kind of an interesting week, with Monday night with the Digital Net, Tuesday night Analog Net, tonight with the meeting, tomorrow night with the Repeater Committee. It's like a ham radio week. For me, I'm off next week starting on Wednesday all the way through after the holiday. So it's just I can't get through my Teams. See, I'm wearing a Teams shirt. We're big on Teams at my company, so I can't wait to get through all the Teams meetings in the next few days just to get to full-time ham radio status. So looking forward to that. Thanks for the updates. Next on the list, I've got Jeff, Alpha Bravo Zero Lima. Great call sign, by the way. Maybe a little update on what's happening with the website there, sir. Go ahead.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Everything's going well with the website. We've been playing a little bit with data on it, which is kind of interesting. As Justin mentioned, we've crossed the 160 member mark. I've actually got detailed information now week by week for exactly a year ago I started collecting it. And so it's interesting to watch the trend lines. And yes, we should break 200 members before December. What's interesting is our membership growth rate actually accelerated post-COVID. So a huge shout out and thank you to all of the new members because you guys are making it happen. Here's the one that the board doesn't even know yet. This is breaking news. Tomorrow we're not even halfway through the year. Tomorrow we will exceed last year's total membership revenue. We got 2 more renewals coming in, and we will have made more money this year already than we made all of last year.
Wow.
And again, that's a shout out to you new members, because that's money that's going towards the cool stuff like the new repeaters. This is awesome. This is what being the best ham club in Colorado is all about. So kudos to everyone. Thank you.
Well, most importantly, the best barbecue at any field day worldwide. Just going to go ahead and say that. I think the PRA's field day has the best barbecue in field day anywhere in the world. So just going to lay that out.
Totally.
I'm still digesting from last year.
Yeah, me too. But I mean, one last thing on field day there. Even if you're not up to coming up and doing the camping thing, just come up for the day Saturday take in the barbecue and just get a feel for what it's like. I did that my first field day year, and that hooked me. So if you don't make field day, it will be a choice you regret for a whole nother year. So I expect to see 160 plus people up at Woodland Park next week.
Well, that's awesome. And Tom, did you have anything to add? I know you gave us an update early there in your intro. Did you have anything else to update for gear there?
So just looking for coax, and I think we're going to be able to have a sufficient amount, but as much as we can find there, that's the only thing we don't have signed up that maybe a little bit concerns me, but otherwise I think we're in good shape. Back to you.
I just found a 75-footer. Put me on the list.
Thank you.
How are we on
a 50-footer?
Tom?
You know, Dan, you were reading my mind. Barrel connector, the thing that separates two great pieces of coax.
Yes, barrel connectors would be useful also.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And then for anyone that's not familiar with our HF loaner program, the club has two radios that primarily get used at field day. We've got a Yaesu 991A, complete with antenna and headsets and everything, power supply, everything you need to run a station in a box, 2-meter, C4 FM, whatever. We've also got a fantastic IC 7300 SDR. Both are available for use outside of when the club uses them, primarily around field day. They've both gone out a couple times here in the last 60 days. Actually, the 991 is coming back to me on Friday. Club member is going to bring that back, and we'll get it all tuned up, cleaned up to CDC standards with wipes and alcohol for getting ready for field day use. So if you're a club member and one of the 161 that's looking to get into HF and you want to play with kind of two great radios with different characteristics, the IC 7300 or the 991A, just shoot us a contact us form on the website, and we will get back to you. Like I said, the radios are available most of the year, except when field day happens, because that's one of the primary uses of the radios. So if you've got any questions about that, don't hesitate to reach out. And it's a great resource for club members. And we love being able to loan those radios out. I would rather not have them sitting in my garage. I'd rather have them at your shack. So
blow the dust off those things.
well, they haven't been dusty lately because they've been in use. So that's awesome. And then I think we've talked enough probably about King Supers and Amazon earlier. So I'm going to skip that for right now. And maybe it's time to talk about the thing we're all here for, CQ Field Day. CQ Field Day. Paul, are you going first? You're the warm-up act, I think.
I'm the warm-up act, correct. And
awesome. Let's start over you then.
All right, let me get a screen share going here. Stand by just a second. All right. How do we look there?
We have your screen from the presentation, so we see everyone.
Stand by.
Yep.
Should be up there momentarily.
There we go.
All right. And let's get this up here. And okay. How's that? Can everybody see that?
Excellent.
Looks great, Paul.
Excellent. Okay, well, welcome to a very short overview here of Field Day. We did this last month, and I'm really excited for the next piece, which is the N1MM presentation. So I'm going to go through this fairly quickly. June the 26th, 27th, and 28th. That's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Colorado Campground up at Woodland Park, Colorado. Okay, now dates and times to be a little more specific here. We have a couple bonus events. If you're part of the Parker Militia or you just like to do portable HF operation, we are going to do a couple deployments, one on Thursday and one on Friday. So for you early birds, come on up on Thursday. We're going to have our first deployment, which is a quick hike over to the lake at 1 p.m. On Friday, we're going to get going a little earlier, and it's going to be a little different hike, or maybe the same hike if it's different people. And we're going to start that at 9 a.m., leaving from our main campsite. Now, setup for Field Day, and when I say setup, I'm talking about antennas primarily, and canopies and radios and batteries and all the stuff that we do so we can get on the air and get a bunch of cues, a whole bunch of points so we can rank pretty high in the contest. The setup is going to be Friday afternoon this year. So we'll start the setup Friday afternoon, sometime around noon, and we'll work up until whatever time it takes to get everything set up. What is not done on Friday afternoon and evening, we will finish up Saturday morning fairly early, starting probably around 6 a.m. or so. Now, the Pledge of Allegiance and the safety briefing will be at 8 a.m. Saturday morning. You definitely want to be there for that, and you definitely want to be there for the safety briefing that Tom's going to do. He does a fantastic job. I mean, it's very important we stay safe up there for the weekend. So anyway, we'll have all the radios, antennas, power systems, logging computers, network, and operating positions ready to go before the contest starts, about 30 minutes before the contest starts. And then this is K0 PRA calling CQ Field Day. And Dan's going to get into that here in just a minute, so you want to stick around for that for sure. Now, Sunday morning, we have to be out of the campsite by noon. So we'll start breaking down the antennas and the radios starting around 10 a.m. or so, but we will operate right up until noon. So there's some jokes going around about how I was taking down an antenna during our last QSO a couple years ago. Well, that's true. We actually made the last contact with the antenna on the ground, but anyway, we'll plan to be out of the campsite with everything cleaned up by noon on Sunday. And we want to just make sure everything's clean, so we're going to spend some time picking up everything and leaving the campsite better than we found it. Okay, if you're up for Field Day on Saturday, and that's really the big day, but you're welcome Thursday, you're welcome Friday, of course, you're welcome to come up Sunday. You can come up and camp any of those nights. But if you're there Saturday around 6 p.m., and I will tell you, if we're all hungry and the food's ready, we might start eating around 5:30 or so. So just come on up, be there by 4:30 or 5, and you don't need to bring anything. The PRA is providing the meal. We are providing pork shoulder that Brent and his lovely wife are going to be cooking. And if you were here last year, you know it's hard to even describe it, but fantastic food. Everything will be provided by the PRA for dinner Saturday night. We'll have rolls and some sides and pork shoulder and we'll have dessert. So just come on up, and we will be we will be utilizing very safe preparation techniques and practices. So everything will be safe and clean, and you can just come up and grab a plate of food and eat, and then come back and get seconds. Okay, for all other meals, if you come up to camp or you come up for the day Saturday, you're on your own. So bring hot dogs, we'll have grills, bring sandwiches, bring whatever you want. Ray and I are bringing meat. We're both bringing steaks, tenderloins, whatever, but Ray and I'll be bringing a lot of meat. So come on up for the meat. Or If you don't eat meat, we'll have a lot of other food available for the Saturday night meal as well for you. But everybody bring their own for all other meals. Okay, bottled water will be provided by the PRA. We have plenty of water, so you don't need to bring anything with you. There are bears in the area, so please keep in mind that you need to use proper food storage. We don't want to be the campsite that has all the food trashed and kind of embarrassing the next morning when the rangers are there to give us a lecture. So store your food in proper bear-proof containers. And you can be cited, by the way. I've seen campers cited up there by the Forest Service rangers for not keeping food in bear-safe containers. All right. We have plenty of tent camping sites. If you are coming up and you're going to tent camp, you do not need a reservation. You do not need a campsite. You don't need to get there early. We have plenty of sites for you, plenty of places for you to pitch your tent. If you're planning to tent camp, however, you may have indicated on the survey, but drop us a quick email at www.parkerradio.org. Let us know you're coming up. We just like to know you're coming so we can kind of plan how many tents per site we'll allocate. Also, I'm not even going to go into the reservations. All sites are reserved at this point in time. So if you don't have a site, there are first come, first served sites up there. If you get up there on Friday evening after 6 or 7 o'clock and it's beautiful weather, there probably will not be any sites for you. So, but if you come up early Friday, Friday mid-afternoon or Thursday, there's usually going to be first come, first served sites, and you can get a campsite at that particular point in time. Quiet time. It is enforced 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So generators go off at 10 p.m. We can still operate our radios. We'll just do that in the confines of our shelters, and no one will know that we're in there making cues all night. But just please be quiet between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. No generators during that time. But at 6:01, fire up your generators. No problem at all. Okay, quick safety notes. Please don't stick any sticks in the fire and pull them back out again. I was around a campsite one time where a person almost lost their eye. So if you put sticks in the fire, put them in the fire and leave them. Pets are welcome. If you're wanting to know whether Ruby's coming, Ruby is coming. She's looking forward to it. We've been telling her about it. She's all very, very excited. But with regard to Ruby or any of the pets that you bring up, make sure you understand that the pets have to be on a leash in camp. And if you walk around camp on the roads or wherever, you have to have them on the leash as well. They will enforce this. And they have and could call out Teller County. And if they do on a dog off the leash, they will ticket you. Make sure you're there for the safety briefing Saturday at 8 a.m. Please do not discharge firearms in the campsite. You will be arrested. If you want to bring up firearms, perfectly fine. There is a shooting range across Highway 86. No. Whatever it is.
67.
Thank you. 67. Across the highway, there is an area where people shoot. And so you can go over there if you want to bring up firearms. Storage of gasoline and other fuels must be in approved containers. Please do not bring gasoline up in a glass jar with a lid on it or something. We don't need that.
Oh, come on. Mason jars, whiskey, gas.
Right. And we've seen that. We've seen that up there in other campsites. Not with the PRA, but please be safe with gasoline. Very dangerous stuff. If anyone has any concerns about any safety issue, you don't have to be a PRA board member. You don't even have to be a PRA member. If you see something that is not right, tell somebody. Tell Tom, our safety officer. Tell anyone in camp. Tell one of the officers. If something is not right and someone's going to get hurt, please speak up. It's very, very important. And then we would ask you, please, no smoking of tobacco products or other products in the campsite areas. We will enforce this because it's just an issue. We're going to have kids up there, and we want a nice, clean, safe environment for them. Okay. How do you
One
get
other
there?
question. I got one other
Yes.
question, Paul. So
Yes.
let's just say, safety and radio procedures and cleaning of the radios in between operators. How are we gonna make sure that we stay safe with the resurgence in COVID coming up? What are we gonna do there on the operating positions?
Yeah, great question there. And it may be in a following slide, but I'll cover it right now as well. We have 4 gallons of industrial strength disinfectant. And whenever somebody leaves an operating position, they decide they're not going to operate that radio, we have people that are going to wipe down the microphone, wipe down the radios, and wipe down the chairs, wipe down the table. So we're going to do a small a disinfectant type of process after everyone is finished either logging and or operating the radio. It'll be there for you to use yourself. If one of the team members is not there to do it for you, please take the time to wipe everything down. If you are nervous about using the existing radio equipment, you can bring your own, and we can swap radios out. If you have a headset that will work on a FT991A or an ICOM 7300, and you want to use that headset on the radio just for your own personal use, please feel free to bring that up as well. We would encourage 6-foot social distancing. We are not requiring masks, but if it's something that you're comfortable with or feel like you should wear, feel free to do that. If you do see something, and this is another, this goes back to talking to somebody, but if you, if you see an unsafe practice from a hygiene standpoint, certainly bring that up to one of the club officers or one of the leaders at the campsite as well. And the food preparation team is going to take special precautions to make sure that not only do they prepare the food safely, but it will be served by individuals that have on face masks and gloves, and it'll be put on your plate. You will not be touching any of the food, and we're going to do that as well. So when you're finished, you throw your plate in the trash can. Come back, get seconds, and they'll do the same thing. They'll fill your plate up with whatever you want, including the barbecue sauce and that type of stuff. So we're going to do everything we can to keep safe. We believe that this type of event can be operated safely. So if you have any comments or suggestions along those lines, when you get up there, feel free to talk to someone about that if there's something you see that doesn't seem right to you. Okay, did that answer your question, Justin?
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Appreciate that.
You bet. Safety is important, and that includes all the COVID-19 safety as well. Okay, so the Colorado Campground is a U.S. Forest Service campground. It's located 5.3 miles north of Woodland Park on State Highway 67. You can also get to the campsite from the north as well. If you go to Pine Junction, Highway 285, and come south, you'll get there as well. The Parker Radio Association this year will be located around campsites 25, 26, 27, and 28. Some members have also reserved some other sites in that general area, and that is on the far east side of the campground loop. So when you come in the campground, stay to the right. It will curve all the way around, and on the back side of the campground, you will find us, and you'll see antennas and tents, and you'll see Dan, and you'll see different people there. And make sure you follow the next informational slide with regard to the parking, and we'll go through that in just a minute. Water and pit toilets are provided. The toilets are operational. They are cleaning them daily. Firewood is available for purchase. We still don't know whether there is going to be a fire ban in place or not. We'll have that information for you early next week. And Manitou Lake is a great walk, great short walk, and has good trout fishing. Okay, parking regulations. I'll cover this very, very quickly. We must follow these regulations. It's absolutely critical. No parking at campsites without an approval from the PRA parking coordinators, and that would be Ray, N0KEG, and myself, AC5S. If you have a reserved campsite, no problem. You can park there. If you show up and you want to park where the operation's happening, where field day is going on, we will probably have some parking available. So look for Ray, look for me. We will direct you to a parking spot that is associated with a campsite. The key here is that you have to stay on the gravel. You cannot park on the side of the road. You cannot put 3 vehicles in one slot where you're sticking out on the road. So Ray and I will help with that. And just please, if we say, hey, it's not going to work, then we have an alternate place for you to park. Most campsites only have room for 2 vehicles per campsite, and those are in many cases already assigned or will be or fill up fast Saturday morning. So if you come up early Saturday morning, we can probably accommodate you in that area. If not, we have a overflow campsite that's fairly close. Okay, you can't park on the grass, so please don't even attempt to do that. And you have to have a parking permit as well. So once we get you situated, we will then advise you on how to get a parking permit, and you can go get one of those, and we'll give you all the information for that. If you can carpool up there, fine. If not, we have an overflow parking space, and it's a beautiful spot. It's across the highway, but it's a short distance to our field day site, and so you can pull up to the site. If we don't have a place for you to park there, then you can drop off your camping equipment, you can drop off your radios, whatever, and then you can move over to the overflow parking. It is across Highway 67, and it's a short walk to field day. You do not have to have a permit there, so it doesn't cost you a few bucks. And if you arrive after 10 a.m. on Saturday, I will almost assure you you're going to have to go to the overflow parking. And it's not a big deal. We had people last year that said, hey, we want to park over there because when we want to leave, we want to be able to get out and that type of thing. So don't think it's a bad thing. It's actually a great parking lot. If you're there, you'll be safe and your vehicle will be safe. And it's, again, a short walk. Okay, that's all I have. I'm going to turn it over to Dan as soon as I see whether we have any questions that have come in on the chat line. Anything there, Wayne, that you see that I can answer while I'm here?
No, the only thing that I saw that came through was Bill was talking about parking. And you covered that, and then the only other thing was no drones. Learned that one last year.
Right, no drones in the campground. Correct.
Hey, Paul, you're still presenting, so you can stop presenting, and that will.
And Ray, everyone wants some ribs.
And what's the
Yeah,
what's
they were
the
tasty.
deal? What's the deal with people being able to participate from home? If you want to touch on that.
Well, I'm not going to touch on that because Dan's going to touch on that, and he's going to cover all that here in just a couple minutes. And it's interesting this year. There have been some modifications with the rules, and we're going to go with the flow, and we're still going to win.
There you go.
Yeah,
right, absolutely.
So yeah, I can touch on the modified rules for this year. So if you're unable to make field day in Woodland Park, but you still want to participate in field day, I got some really good news. Number one, get on the air. It's a lot of fun. It's like fishing in a barrel. You're guaranteed to make contacts, and we're going to cover what that looks like here in a little bit. But the rule modifications for this year through the ARRL is that if you operate from home, but you also participate in a club, well, here's the cool part. As long as you submit your logbook and reference the Parker Radio Association, I want to make that very clear. You can't just reference K0PRA or just PRA. You have to type in the club name, Parker Radio Association. And what will happen is as the ARRL gets all of the log entries, they're going to query all of the different clubs. And if you reference the PRA, all of your contacts as an individual. So as an example, Doug, KE0DC, I know he's operating from home this year. So Doug is going to operate field day under his call sign. And when he submits his log, hopefully he's going to put Parker Radio Association as his club. And when he does that, his QSOs will count towards our total K0PRA tally. So a really, really cool rule change that they did this year to for those that can't participate in field day, or maybe their local club is not having it. But at the same time, too, it's a great way to get on the air and make a lot of contacts and have fun at it. So that's kind of what that's all about.
So I got a couple questions for you, Dan. So if I'm operating at home, let's say I'm not going to go up to field day, I've got to operate, number one, within my own privileges. And then number two, because of the existing rule of field day, where the club call sign must operate within a certain radius, I've got to operate under my own call sign if I'm not in that. So if the PRA were going to cancel and move down to a parking lot in King Supers somewhere, we could operate as K0PRA. But since we're operating up in the Colorado Campground, we cannot operate as K0PRA unless we're up there in the mountains, right?
That's correct. So yeah, you have to be within a pretty tight radius, and the rules have been expanded a little bit. I believe it's 1,000-foot radius. So you have to be within a radius of where the club has set up. So yeah, so if you're not operating with the club in Woodland Park, you're going to use your own call sign with your own under the limitations of your license class, and where you can operate as you would every other day. Just because it's field day doesn't mean you can, if you're a technician or a general, doesn't mean you can, jump onto the extra portion of the bands and use the club call sign. Don't do that. Use your own call sign under your own privileges, unless you're at field day. Now, as being at field day, if you're there in Woodland Park, you're going to be using the club call sign.
Thanks, Dan.
Any other questions come through the chat room?
Nope, not anything yet.
All right. Well, what we're going to do is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to jump into ARRL Field Day and the N1MM logger. So does everybody see my presentation screen up there? All right, good.
Yep, looking good.
All right. So what we're going to do is, here's what we're going to cover. So you may wonder, who's this goofy guy and what's he all about? So I'll give a brief little summary of who I am. Paul did a really good intro and a quick flyover. So I'm going to kind of help put the icing on the cake with Paul's summary. We're going to talk about the exchange, what the class and section is, what that means, and how that's an important part of logging. We're going to go over the N1MM software overview and basics of what it is. And we're going to go into how to log a contact. And then we're going to dive into a live demo. So everybody that's on the studio side, if you remember when we did this last year, we're actually going to use you. We're going to mock a field day CQ, and we're going to get it logged on the screen, and we'll go over some tricks and hints with that as well. So real good stuff coming up. So you may be wondering, who's this guy? So I was licensed in 1992. I'm a native of Southern New Jersey. SNJ, remember that for later. There's a bonus question coming up. So I'm not a Colorado native, but I got here as fast as I could. Also a volunteer examiner, PRA president and co-founder, recently appointed vice director of the ARRL Rocky Mountain Division. I'm a really bad golfer and a horrible joke teller, so I'm actually going to put the bad golfer to use tomorrow. I get the opportunity to play golf tomorrow, so hopefully I can go from bad to average, and then maybe one day average to good. Also, I'm a wannabe baseball general manager. I'm an avid baseball aficionado and fan. I'm absolutely devastated as to what's going on in Major League Baseball right now, but that's another story for another time and maybe over the campfire. And I'm a self-professed field day addict. I absolutely love field day. Field day was probably the one event that really, really got me hooked, not only in amateur radio, but in the element of contesting. Now, we will go into that in a little bit. People are going to say, field day is not a contest. You're right, it's not a contest. But at the same time, too, we like to rack up points and we like to score big. So officially, ARRL Field Day is the most popular on-the-air event for amateur radio operators. It's held annually in the US and Canada, always on the fourth full weekend of June. And we usually see more than 35,000 operators gather between the US and Canada to operate from remote locations. So, like I said before, it's not a contest, but we really like to make contacts and rack up the points. So, good stuff happening there. So, for the Parker Radio Association, we follow our mantra. We're going to play radio, we're going to have fun, and we're going to keep the squelch loose. But most importantly, through that, what I've always found, so we've been doing field day. This will be our 6th field day this year. Teach something and learn something. That's important. So I always walk away from field day learning something new. I've been to ham for a little more than a quarter century right now. I always, always, always learn something new at field day. And the way you learn is ask questions, ask a lot of questions. That's going to be really, really important, particularly if this is your first field day, or hey, maybe you went from technician to general and it's your first time getting onto the HF bands, or maybe you're going general to extra, hint, hint. That could be an absolutely great opportunity to ask a lot of questions. And that's the best part, because again, I guarantee that you're going to learn something. So most importantly, we're going to encourage you to get on the air. We have your back. You may have heard me reference this on the nets and even here tonight. It's not going to be, here's the radio and off you go. We got your back. You're going to have plenty of support. We're going to have cue cards. We're going to have things that we're going to point to. And we absolutely know that you're going to do a good job if this is your first field day, or maybe this might be the first couple field days you've participated in. So what to expect? Warm welcome and introductions, plenty of those. Safety briefings, as Paul had mentioned, and checklists each day. We're also going to ask you for a hand. So maybe you've never put an antenna up, or hey, you maybe never done a run of coax. We're going to ask you for a hand. That's another great way to learn. So learning, I think, is twofold: not only instructional and theory, but it's also doing the hands-on practical applications as well. So we're going to have plenty of opportunities for that. We're going to have some instructional activities that take place. So prior to kickoff of field day, there's some of us that are going to be doing a demonstration on antenna analyzing, which will be really cool. We'll have a series of different antenna analyzers that are out there. We may even break aside even during the event and maybe do some demonstrations as well. So absolutely a great opportunity to pick up a lot of really, really good instruction. Laughter, you're going to hear a lot of laughter going on during field day. We have a really good time. We tell a lot of jokes. As the mantra says, we really keep the squelch loose. So hearing a lot of laughter is a good thing. We are absolutely going to celebrate first contact. So if you are a new ham, or maybe you're studying for your license and you want to get on the air, no problem. You're going to have a control operator with you. We're going to allow you to get on the air, and we are absolutely going to celebrate your first HF contact. So boy, I think a lot of people love celebration. What's that, Justin?
Just a quick comment, or maybe you get your extra license while you're at field day. We're definitely going to slide down the band and make you work down there. So just saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we love celebrating first contact. So good stuff happening there. Multiple modes we're going to operate. Voice will be primary. We're going to do some digital, maybe even some CW. And for those of you who don't know what CW is, that's Morse code. So we have some plans to maybe incorporate some Morse code and into some of our operating. So if for whatever reason you get a little field date out and a little ham radioed out, no problem. There's plenty of hiking, fishing, and as the picture shows, napping. Another very important part of field day. That was a quick snooze that John N4SJW had, because he was working some pretty major pileups. I think it was on 6 meters. I mean, a pileup on 6 meters is probably like 1 or 2 contacts, but that was enough to exhaust John there. So let's talk about you're going to hear the comment of an exchange. So what's an exchange? So for ARRL field day, an exchange is getting the class and section. So to log a good contact, the following is absolutely necessary: the call sign of the station you're answering, and here's the exchange. It's going to be their class, which the ARRL defines a class based upon the number of transmitters and their field setup. So many clubs will have 1 transmitter, some may have 5. I think the Largest one I logged one time was like a 45 alpha. They had 45 different transmitters at field day. And there's Ray with his extra class book. Good job, Ray.
Good job, Ray. Looking forward to that.
So yeah, so the class is defined based upon, and it's a club will identify what their class is. So as an example, if you're a 7A or a 7 alpha, that's equivalent to a club operating with 7 transmitters simultaneously. A 1 delta, which is a single transmitter battery power, and the alpha notation is for clubs. So you'll hear a lot of clubs on the air. I bet we're going to hear a lot of 1 deltas on the air this year as well. So the section, that's your identified ARRL section. So we are in the Colorado section. So I believe we're operating 3 transmitters simultaneously. Is that correct? So let's just say we are operating 3 transmitters simultaneously. Our class is going to be 3 alpha. So you'll hear us repeatedly say we are 3 alpha Colorado, because that's our ARRL section. And we'll go over what that kind of sounds like and the rhythm of that here in a little bit. So kind of a breakout detail. So we talked about the theory, and then we'll get into the practical application of this. So let's just talk about a basic breakout detail of an exchange. So say Paul AC5S is calling CQ. He would say CQ field day from Alpha Charlie 5 Sierra AC5S. And if I answered him, I would answer just with my call sign, November 2 Sierra Romeo Kilo. Paul would answer, and 2 SRK, please copy 1 Delta Colorado. I would answer back to Paul, AC5S, I copy your 1 Delta Colorado. Please copy 6 Alpha Colorado. And I copy your 6 Alpha Colorado, 73. And that is the class and exchange. It's a very, very quick exchange that takes place. But even though that it's quick, don't let that intimidate you. You can say, hey, I need to slow down a minute. I missed your class. I missed your section. That is okay to ask for that all over again. And what's really good is that some of the really good operators, and you're going to have some great operators at field day, they're going to slow their pace down to make sure that you copy things as well. So don't be intimidated by the speed, because we'll actually, a lot of the really good operators will take their foot off the accelerator. Justin, go ahead.
Yeah, so why is it important that we both have the same information about each other?
Yeah, so that's good because, again, not only are we logging the contact, but in order to have a good contact, you have to have the call sign, the class, and the section. They have to know yours, and I have to know theirs. And it's always good to repeat that. And the reason it's good to repeat what you heard is just to make sure you didn't miss something. So he could be a 44 alpha, but you only heard 4 alpha. So that you could say, okay, I acknowledge your 4 alpha. No, it's 44 alpha. Holy smoke, that's a lot of transmitters. Okay, we have you as 44 alpha.
And I noticed there's no, I've heard Paul say every contest is 5-9. There's no exchange of signal reports at field day.
No, great question. So there is no exchange of signal reports at field day. All we're going to do is just class and section. So that's the exchange that takes place to make a good contact for field day.
I got a comment.
Go ahead, Doug.
I was just setting up WSJTX for field day, and it asked for the field day exchange, and I put in 1 Delta CO for 1 Delta Colorado, and it accepted it. I tried just 1 Delta and it wouldn't accept it. I guess I didn't have the Colorado in there. So anybody doing digital.
Yep, you're absolutely correct. You got to have both in there. So that's a great comment, Doug. For those of you that are operating digital modes, make sure that you have the full class and section in the exchange category. So like Doug said, if he's going to be 1 Delta Colorado, his class and section exchange detail is going to be 1D space CO for Colorado. Good comment, Doug. So we'll fly through just some of the N1MM software basics and an overview. So N1MM is primarily used for contests. It can be used as a general logging software, but again, it's primarily a contest software. And the benefit of it is that there are predefined and pre-programmed exchanges based upon the contest. So when you create or you say, hey, I want to operate in a contest, you can actually go in and change the contest name, and it will populate all the necessary exchanges that are needed for your specific contest. There's no other configuration that you need to do so long as you pick the right contest. The neat part about N1MM is that there's regular updates at an absolute minimum. It's once a month. Here recently, they've been pumping updates out almost daily. So keep an eye out on that as well, and make sure you have the most recent version of N1MM. The nice part about it is once you do your full install, if there are updates available, it'll tell you, hey, there's updates available. You may want to update your software. So it's a nice little reminder that they have there. The software is, oh, is there a question?
Yeah, I was just going to say, usually the updates are the upcoming contests that are coming up. So there'll probably be ones pushed out for field day, probably on Thursday or Friday would be my guess.
Yep, you're right.
So
yeah, keep that in mind as well. One of the neat parts, it's absolutely free software, which is pretty remarkable. So for N1MM to be absolutely full of features, which it is, great detail, simple to operate, for it to be absolutely free. Boy, what a great opportunity within amateur radio to take advantage of some free software. They always like donations. I usually kick them a couple bucks a couple times a year just as a thank you for their efforts on that. And again, it's relatively easy to navigate and also incorporate some rig control involved in it as well. Rig control is not necessary to operate N1MM. So we're going to talk about later on in the presentation how to switch bands in the logging software relatively easily, as well as how to switch modes as well. So the other thing that we have within N1MM and its structure are things called a database and a log. So the database is the overall structure in which you house your individual logs, and a log is always within the database. So on your first install, you're going to be asked to create a database. For simplicity's sake, I just call my database by my call sign, N2SRK. And then the logs, when I go to save those, I'll save the logs based upon the contest name. So when we set up for a field day contest log within N1MM, presuming that you've installed it correctly and you've done the initial configuration, you're actually going to go right here into new log in the database that you create. So once you click on that, there's going to be a few parameters involved in that. Let me go back a screen here. So what you're going to do is when you create that new log in the database, it's going to say, well, what log do you want to use? Well, for field day, if you try to look up in their drop-down menu, field day, the full word, it's not going to be there. Just look for FD. That's going to be your log type, FD. And there's going to be a few variable parameters that are set up there, which you're going to need to define if you're not operating at Woodland Park. So the operator category, maybe you're going to be a 1 Delta, maybe you're going to be a 2 Delta, maybe you have a buddy coming over to your house to operate as well. So your operator category, you're going to select either single op or multi-op. Within the bands, we always select all the bands. So you either have a selection of choosing all the bands, or you say, you know what, I'm only going to operate 20 meters and that's it. You can select just a single band as well. As far as your power, it's going to be QRP, low or high, but you can only select one. So if you decide, hey, I'm going to start off operating at 100 watts, and that would be considered low power, and you decide, hey, you know what, I'm going to take the KX2 outside, I'm going to operate as QRP, you can't switch in the middle of the contest. You have to operate. Now, at the field day site, we do have some bonus parameters that are tied in if we do some contacts that are QRP, but that's something that's done on site. You'll get the station is either going to be fixed or mobile. You're either stationary or you're in the car driving around. The assisted category and the transmitter category, but I would leave those at the default. They're typically as non-assistant, and for the transmitter category, it's typically unlimited. So the scent exchange, and we're going to show the window of what this looks like here in a minute. The scent exchange is, again, based upon your class and section. So for K0PRA at Field Day, we're going to be operating as 3A space CO, very similar to what Doug brought up just a little while ago. Go ahead, Justin.
So if I'm wondering what to pick for if I'm at home, right, operating at home because I'm staying at home for Field Day, for assisted, if I'm using like a spotter or I'm looking online, I'm looking for where people are operating, is that what assisted means or what?
That's exactly right. So yeah, so if you're using a spotting service to try to find out where people are, you would select assisted.
Thank you.
Yep, good question. So again, yeah, so for the scent exchange, it's going to be based upon your class and section. So again, for our site at Woodland Park, we're going to be 3A Colorado or 3 Alpha Colorado. So here's a quick shot of the log type here, right up at the top. So we're going to be selecting FD for Field Day. And here are all the contest categories that we filled in that we talked about on the previous screen. So my buddy here, W1BIM, actually has his set up for Western Massachusetts. So he's actually operating as a 7 Alpha, so 7 transmitters. That's pretty cool in Western Massachusetts. So pretty neat setup that that he's got going on there. So real nice setup there. And then once you have that set up, there's also going to be some setup of your station data. So part of your station data setup, for those that are participating at home, this is a very, very important step. Under the club, please type in Parker Radio Association. So the full name of the club, Parker Radio Association, because your totals are going to be combined with the overall club totals for a final score. So as you see it here, without the quotation marks, that's how you'll type it into N1MM logger. So when you add in your station information here, like we had just talked about before, so you know, the CMARA, that's their club call sign, their address, license class obviously is extra, grid square, good to know your grid square, your CQ zone, all of those can be looked up online if you're interested in those. Not really necessary to put in your latitude or longitude, but you can, so that's okay to do. Power, you know, what's the max power that you're going to be running that day? So we're going to be running, I think our max power is 200 watts, right, Ray? Is it 200 or are we just doing 100 this year?
What, for FT8?
Yeah.
Oh, we could run 2, but it's going to kill the batteries.
Well, we'll see what happens there. It'll be a game time decision. And then obviously with 7 stations that they're operating, they have various antennas. But here's the big thing. Look at what they did under the club call, Parker Radio Association. They got that in there. So good stuff there. We'll get credit for our boys.
Yeah.
Yep. What's that?
As John's watching this, he's saying 20 watts, guys, 20 watts.
Weak signal mode versus low power mode.
Thank you. I'll bring an amp.
So logging a contact. So if your radio is not rig controlled through N1MM, no problem. So all changes to frequency and mode can be entered under the call sign section within N1MM. So we'll go into that here and show a demonstration of that here shortly. So when your frequency set up, no decimals. So as an example, if we're at 14.200, all you're going to enter is 14200. So no decimal points in there. And for the mode setup, once you have your frequency defined, will either be CW, upper sideband, lower sideband, AM, FM, RTTY, PSK, FT8. All those modes can be entered under the call sign. So if you don't have the rig control, you can make that change within N1MM logger. So here's a good little setup of it right here. Oh, let me go back. I jumped forward a little bit. So as you can see at the top, they were originally operating on 1.850 lower sideband on their TS2000. Well, obviously they're making a change and want to jump over to 80 meters. So they're going to type in 3550. And then what happens down here? Well, look, the logbook recognizes that. It moves you to 3550 lower sideband. So good stuff there. So to set or change a frequency, you're going to type the frequency in kilohertz, not megahertz, in the call sign field, which will be right here. And you just use a typical phone or CW frequency, because in the field day exchange, N1MM and the logging contacts only need to know the band. They don't need to know the specific frequency. So there's no need to change this as you go up and down, maybe searching and pouncing on the bands to see who you may be able to contact. There's no need to change the frequency on the same band that you're operating every single time. We just need to know the band that you're operating. And again, the title bar right up here is going to reflect the change that you make within either the frequency or the mode. So talking about the mode, here we are. Well, it went 3550 and lower sideband. Well, wait a minute. I want to go to CW. So all the operator is going to do is type in CW, and it makes that change automatically. So again, you'll type in the mode CW, upper sideband, lower sideband, AM, FM, RTTY, etc. in the call sign field on the left-hand side. And again, the title bar of the main window will reflect that change. So let's log a contact. So here, W1TR answers our CQ. Actually, we're going to answer W1TR's CQ with the following information. He's 1 Alpha Connecticut. So W1TR, we're going to put as the call sign. So usually you're going to hear Whiskey 1 Tango Romeo, or maybe Whiskey 1 Tango Radio. There may be several different phonetics that are used. So we're going to log W1TR. He's going to come back and say, I'm a 1 Alpha Connecticut. And we're going to type in the class as 1 Alpha, and then his section as Connecticut. So after you type this in order to get from here over to the class and then over to the section, you're just going to use the tab key. So once you type in W1TR, hit tab, it will automatically put you over here for the class. Once you hear 1 Alpha, hit tab again, and that will get you over to the section. Now for the sections, we're going to have a list of the sections displayed at the table. So if somebody says, I'm San Joaquin Valley, and you don't know that the abbreviation for San Joaquin Valley is SJV, we're going to have that for you. Some people say the section is orange. Well, if you don't know the abbreviation for orange, we'll have that there. And by the way, it's ORG. So who remembers what Southern New Jersey's abbreviation is? Justin.
Sierra, November, Juliet.
There we go. You get an extra 10 points. Good job. So good stuff there. We'll move right along here. So a duplicate contact. So the dreaded dupe.
No!
It's kind of like the whammy on Press Your Luck. So,
and there will be dupes. Guaranteed there will be dupes.
Absolutely. So the dreaded dupe. So a dupe is an abbreviation for duplicate, meaning you've already worked this station on the same band and on the same mode. So let's say I contacted Wayne N0AD on upper sideband 20 meters, and then I operated and contacted Wayne on CW on 20 meters. That's okay because it's a different mode. I just cannot make the same band and same mode contact with the same individual more than once. And there's no points for dupe, so it's not a good thing. It's like the whammy coming across. So,
and that's for the entire event.
That's for the entire event, correct. So if you do get a dupe, say we try to work W1TR again, here's the cool part about N1MM. It's going to say, hey, you already worked him. He's a dupe. Move on to the next one.
And that also means that any of the stations that are running as K0PRA, you might not have personally worked that station, but somebody in the club did.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, keep that in mind as you go through. Now, some people may say, "Hey, I don't have you as a dupe." Give them the contact anyway. Log it. It's a-okay. No problem there. So what we'll do at the end of the event is that when those dupes come through, we're able to strike those out of the logbook. And the cool part is that N1MM, if it does see it as a dupe, it will not tally it as far as the total point score. So good stuff there for sure.
And last year, I basically just churned through them because it was easier just to give them the, your response than to say, "Oh, you're a dupe," and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry." It's easier just to be like, "Bump, bump, bump, bump,"
That's great, Wayne. Yeah, absolutely.
Just power through them all.
Absolutely. No, that's a really, really good recommendation. So yeah, so going back as well, if if you're searching and pouncing, so you're going to be making 20, 30, 40, sometimes 50, 60 contacts an hour. What may happen is that as you're searching and pouncing through the band, you may say, "I don't know if I work this guy or not." Just type in his call sign, and before you even get any sort of exchange going, just to see if you've worked him or not. And if it comes up as a dupe, move on. That's okay. So I want to pause here to see if there's any questions that are coming from the chat room before we kind of get into a live demo and Q&A here.
Nothing as of yet. There were some questions about, running at night on battery versus during the day, and it's just strictly 3A across the board. But no, I haven't seen any really that come through.
Okay. Well, either I've really confused everyone, or it's still doing a good job here. So, what we're going to do is that we're going to get into kind of a really nice live demo side of it. So, what you're seeing here is my screen. So, I have the N1MM software up and going. This looks like to be the last contest I worked, which is a while ago, which was the ARRL DX sideband contest. So that was a little while ago. So what I'm going to do is we're going to walk through if I was going to set this up for field day. So there's my database into SRK. I'm going to open up a new log within the database. And what ends up happening is I get a request. All right, you want to create a new log? What are you calling it? So I'm going to click on here. And here are all the contests that are in N1MM Logger. I mean, it goes on forever. Worldwide contests are preloaded in here, which is really, really cool. And there's the one we're looking for, Field Day. There it is. So let's say I was operating from home. I'm going to be a single op. I'm going to operate all the bands. I'm going to go low power. I'm just going to operate sideband. Overlay, I'm not worried about that. I'm going to be actually, you know what? I'm going to operate from the backyard portable. So that'll be good. I'm not going to use any assistance of any spotter networks. Justin, you look fabulous, by the way. I'm only going to operate one transmitter here. Now, let's just say I want to operate two. I could change that right there. So one transmitter. My scent exchange, I'm going to be one Alpha Colorado because I'm operating from home. So as soon as I click OK here, well, look what happens. It is ready to rock and roll. Now, I do not have this hooked up to my HF radio right now. So remember, right up at the top of the title bar, it says 14200. So that has me on the 20 meter band. So let's say I wanted to go over to 40 meter. I can type in a frequency on 40 meter, 7223, and look, it changes this up at the top for the frequency I'm on. As well, it automatically defaults to the part of the band it knows that I'm going to be in lower sideband. So let's say, as an example, I wanted to go to 7015. It still says lower sideband, which is not correct because now we're down into the CW portion. So if I wanted to change from LSB, lower sideband, to CW, all I'm going to do is type CW, and now it changed it. Okay. So let's go back to, oh, it looks like it kicked me into a contest mode. Oh, very cool. That's okay. So let's go SSB. There we go. Now we're back. All right, so I'm back on 20 meters. And here's the cool part. So I'm going to ask those that are in the studio, I'm going to ask you to take your mics off of mute. And what we're going to do is that we are going to do I'm going to call CQ as K0PRA Field Day, and I'm going to try to answer who I hear throughout all this. So it's going to sound like alphabet soup, but I'm going to start picking people out. So make sure you're ready with your class and section as well. So everybody gives me the thumbs up if they're ready, and I'll start calling CQ so that you get a flow of what this sounds like. So here we go. CQ Field Day from Kilowatt Zero, Papa Radio Alpha Field Day.
November 1, Romeo Delta Hotel.
Liberty.
The Romeo Delta Hotel.
November 1, Romeo Delta Hotel. I am 1 Alpha in Colorado. QSL.
QSL. November 1, Radio Delta Hotel. Copy 3 Alpha, Colorado.
Kilowatt Zero, Papa Romeo Alpha. I copy 3 Alpha in Colorado. Charlie Oscar, QSL.
QSL 73. Good luck. QRZ.
Alpha Echo 2 Lima.
Alpha Echo 2 Lima. Copy 2 Alpha, copy 3 Alpha, Colorado.
Booming signal here. Please copy 1 Delta Charlie Oscar.
Okay, AE2L, we copy your 1 Delta Colorado, 73, thanks. QRZ, Kilowatt Zero, Papa Radio Alpha.
Alpha Echo 2
Kilowatt Echo Golf.
Who's the Kilowatt Echo Golf?
November 0, keg of beer.
November 0, keg of beer. Please copy 3 Alpha, Colorado.
Roger, Roger, 1 Echo Charlie Oscar, QSL.
QSL, copy your 1 Echo Colorado, thanks. QRZ.
November 0, Alpha Delta.
2 Liberty.
November 0, Alpha Delta, copy 3 Alpha, Colorado.
Roger that. Please copy 1 Alpha, Colorado.
QSL, your 1 Alpha, Colorado, 73, thanks. Who ending in Lima?
Alpha Echo 2 Lima.
Alpha Echo 2 Lima. Got you, old man, as a dupe. Do you have us already?
We're running paper logs over here, so maybe we're a little behind.
Oh, that's okay. Well, hey, we're 3 Alpha, Colorado. 3 Alpha, Colorado. QSL?
Yeah, QSL 73. Good luck.
Okay, what's your class and section?
1 Delta Charlie Oscar.
1 Delta Charlie Oscar. We'll throw you in anyway. 73. Good luck. QRZ from Kilowatt Zero, Papa Radio Alpha.
Alpha India 8 Charlie.
Alpha India 8 Charlie. Please copy 3 Alpha, Colorado.
3 Alpha Colorado. Copy 1 Delta Colorado.
All right, we copy your 1 Delta Colorado. 73. Thanks. QRZ Kilowatt Zero, Papa Radio Alpha.
November 0,
2,
Alpha Delta.
Romeo Kilo.
Who's the Echo Kilo again?
Romeo Kilo.
Romeo Kilo again?
November 2, Sierra Romeo Kilo.
November 2, Sierra Romeo Kilo, copy 3 Alpha, Colorado.
1 Echo SNJ, South New Jersey.
November 2, Sierra Romeo Kilo, we copy your 1 Echo SNJ. Good to hear from the homeland. 73, good luck. QRZ, Kilowatt Zero, Papa Radio Alpha.
Alpha Charlie 5 Sugar.
Alpha Charlie 5 Sugar, copy 3 Alpha, Colorado.
Yeah, we're operating 1 transmitter here in Oklahoma.
Okay, so are you guys a club?
Yeah, we're a club and we're operating on battery.
All right, so we're going to have you down as 1 Alpha. Is that correct for your class?
Sure.
All right, 1 Alpha, Oklahoma, 73, thanks. QRZ from Kilowatt Zero, Papa Radio Alpha.
KE0 DC.
KE0 DC, 3 Alpha, Colorado. KE0 DC, copy 3 Alpha, Colorado.
Why do you do that to me, Wayne?
I didn't. That was Justin.
No, I'm trying to figure out how to configure N1NMM for my operation. 1 Delta, Colorado.
Okay, KE0DC, we copy your 1 Delta, Colorado, 73, thanks. There's the flow. That's kind of how it goes. I know it goes quick, but don't be intimidated. You control the gas pedal. It's like driving a car. You can go as slow or as fast as you want. And the best part is that sometimes if you're calling CQ and you hear somebody going really slow, you slow down as well. That's going to be really, really important here. So as you can see, we made a total of 8 contacts. Look at that, 8 contacts. We're already up to 16 points. So some pretty cool stuff there. So that's kind of the speed and the rhythm that goes on during field day. Again, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. A lot of listening, listening, listening. And if you don't get the full call sign, so like you heard me say, so like when Ray was calling, I was asking, who's the Echo Golf? Because that's the last 2 letters that I heard. And they'll come back with N0KEG. So if you only get a portion or either the front end or the tail end of the call sign, it is absolutely okay to say, who is the Whiskey 1 Delta again? And that way it kind of tells everyone, hey, I'm only listening for W1D ? So kind of gives you a good idea there. So it's okay to ask for people to repeat their call sign, repeat their class, repeat their section. That's pretty darn important. Wayne, are there any questions that may have come through on the chat room?
No, it's been pretty quiet.
Uh-oh.
No, it looks good.
We still have people
got
listening?
27 people.
Well, it's good. We're up to 27. So yeah, there we go. What a run it was, Mr. Unbalanced. That's I'm expecting a lot out of you at field day, sir. So that'll be good stuff for sure. So
well, he's going to be manning our Morse code station.
Excellent. Hey, that's the cool part, is that digital contacts are worth 2 for 1. You get 2 points for every one.
Yes, sir. FT4 to the rescue.
There we go. Doug's all geared up. He's ready to do this. So good stuff there. So yeah, that is again a quick fly through of N1MM. So kind of going through the basics of N1MM when it comes to logging. Call sign, tab, section, tab, class. Once you get that, hit enter and you're done. You've logged the contact.
So Dan,
yes,
you mentioned something interesting here. In field day, there's a pair of operators, right? One is on the radio, one is typing. What would be the difference at field day if I was operating like how would this be different at field day?
Yeah, so what's going to happen at field day is typically we have one person operating the radio and then one person doing the logging. So we'll have a splitter that's put into the radio where the person transmitting will have the headset. The person doing the logging will just have a set of headphones on, but they're hearing everything going back and forth. So the nice part is that even if you are the person calling CQ, or the person that's transmitting and looking for contacts, always good to keep your eye on your partner who's logging, because you may have heard the call sign, but they may not have heard it in order to log it. So what's going to be important? Let's just say, I'm answering W1AW and my logger only got the W1, and you look across to the screen and say just W1. It's okay to say, okay, Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey. That way you're helping your partner log the contact and get the call sign in, and also maintaining at least some communication back and forth to the person you contacted. And if there's a booger up in the logbook, it is a-okay to come on and say, hey, our logbook's a little crossed up. Hang on real tight. We gotta fix something here real quick. Stand by. We gotta clean something up. Okay, we got it. W1 Alpha Whiskey, copy 1 Delta or 3 Alpha Colorado.
Hey, can we do one more round, Dan? Any chance we could do one more round?
Sure. Absolutely.
I mean, for the call sign, I feel like we have to call in for this. I feel like we have to be a little unbalanced in our call sign.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to get back up here to the logbook. You want me to call CQ, Justin?
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Okay, CQ Field Day, CQ Field Day, Kilowatt Zero, Papa Radio Alpha Field Day.
The Alpha Delta
Kilo Echo
Zero
Zero, Delta
November 1,
Charlie.
Romeo Delta
Bravo.
Hotel.
Ending in Bravo again.
Alpha Delta Zero Whiskey Bravo.
Alpha Delta Zero, Whiskey Bravo, copy 3 Alpha Colorado.
Thanks for your 3 Alpha Colorado. Please copy 1 Delta Charlie Oscar.
Okay, 80 WB, we copy your 1 Delta Charlie Oscar, 73, thanks. QRZ,
November 0 Alpha Delta.
November
Lima.
0 Alpha Delta, please copy 3 Alpha Colorado.
Copied your 3 Alpha Colorado. Please copy my 1 Alpha Colorado.
QSL, the 1 Alpha Colorado, 73, thanks. QRZ, Kilowatt Zero, Papa Radio Alpha.
November
Kilo
1, Romeo
Echo
Delta
Sierra Zulu
Hotel.
Delta.
Blah, blah, blah.
Who's the November 1? November 1 again?
November 1, Romeo Delta Hotel.
November 1, Romeo Delta Hotel. Piercing audio, by the way. Please copy 3 Alpha Colorado.
I copy 3 Alpha Colorado. I am 1 Alpha in Colorado.
All right, we copy your 1 Alpha Colorado. 73, thanks. Good luck. QRZ.
Kilo Echo Zero, Sierra Zulu Delta.
Okay, the Kilo Echo Zero Sierra question mark again.
Kilo Echo Zero, Sierra Zulu Delta.
KE0 SZD, please copy 3 Alpha Colorado.
Copy 3 Alpha Colorado. Copy 1 Delta Colorado.
QSL and your 1 Delta Colorado, 73, thanks. QRZ from Kilowatt Zero, Papa Radio Alpha.
Kilo Echo Zero, Papa Charlie, India.
Tango November Golf.
The November Gulf again.
Kilo 0 November Tango Golf for ID.
Kilowatt, was that Kilowatt Zero November Tango Golf?
Sorry, it was TNG Tango November Golf for ID.
All right, Kilowatt Zero Tango November Golf, copy 3 Alpha Colorado.
Roger, copy 1 Delta Charlie Oscar.
Okay, we copy your 1 Delta Charlie Oscar, 73, thanks, have fun. QRZ from Kilowatt Zero, Papa Radio Alpha.
Kilo Echo Zero, Papa Charlie, India.
Kilo Echo Zero, Papa Charlie, India, copy 3 Alpha Colorado.
I copy 3 Alpha in Colorado. This is 4 Alpha in Colorado.
QSL and your 4 Alpha Colorado, 73, thanks, good luck. QRZ? Was that a good enough run, Justin?
That was great. We just had to acknowledge all the commenters in the right side. Oh, sorry, forgot one. We forgot one.
Oh, wait, hang on. Let me go back to let me get back there. Hang on. You know, we can't leave anyone out. CQ Field Day, CQ Field Day from Kilowatt Zero, Papa Radio Alpha.
Kilo Bravo 4 Sierra Mike Kilo.
Kilo Bravo 4 Sierra Mike Kilo, copy 3 Alpha Colorado.
Roger, please copy We Win Field Colorado.
Is that a 45 Alpha Colorado?
Right.
Roger.
73, thanks. Good luck with 45 transmitters going at the same time. Awesome.
All right, I think that covers the comments.
All right. Good
Comment?
stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, I use Grid Tracker for WSJTX, and it can log all, I think there's about a dozen different logbooks you can log to, and M1MM Logger is one of them. So if you're doing WSJTX transmissions, you can use Grid Tracker to do all your logs.
Very good. Doug, I got a feeling there's going to be a digital presentation in your future.
Again, really?
At least with us.
Oh yeah, the last one was with Castle Rock.
There you go. So yeah, just keeping an eye here on the chat room here. Just want to just kind of kick it over to see if there's any final questions that may be in there. I see Randy was going for a ZL station. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then for Jeremiah, rest assured we'll have no camo at Field Day.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
Well, there'll be excessive camo at Field Day, but not for Jeremiah.
Believe it when I see it.
Well, that's what I have from this end as far as the presentation is concerned. So obviously, we know there's a delay on YouTube Live. We'll kind of kick it around the room to see if there's any last minute questions that are coming in. And as we do that, I'll kick it around the room. Elizabeth and one RDH, any pearls of wisdom before we wrap up tonight?
No, I'm looking forward to it. I know what I need to say, and I'm ready. I'm excited. I do see Brent mentioning batteries. We need some more batteries, so everybody just bring one or two along.
Lots
Back
of
to
batteries.
you.
Excellent. Yeah, can't have enough batteries at field day, particularly when we shut the generators off at 10 o'clock. We got to have enough batteries that carry us through the night. So great, great recommendation by Brent and also Bill, W0SUN. Lots and lots of batteries. Justin, AE2L, over to you for your final words and pearls of wisdom for tonight.
Well, thanks, Dan. I think I'm still technically the MC for tonight, so thanks for throwing it back to net control. And appreciate that. That was a fantastic demo, and thanks for all the comments. And apparently we're supposed to remember batteries with power poles, right? So I don't know if you can see my station, but I've got some batteries charging over there. We've got 20 amps, 15 amps, so I'll bring those with us. And lots of batteries. I know Ray's got cheap Chinese generators that work well, except for puking mild amounts of RF. So we're gonna have a great time. And Dan will have power poles on demand at field day. So let's see. Wayne, any final comments there?
Yeah, Bill just popped in there asking if there be any international stations working field day.
Yeah.
Probably so. The band is going to be so jam-packed, but yeah, probably so would be my guess.
There's a lot of international contacts that you'll make. I think our very first field day, we almost fell off the beach chairs that we were using. I think overnight we worked a couple ZL stations and some VK stations as well. So absolutely, there's lots of opportunity for DX.
All right, well, thanks for that. Patrick, any closing comments?
Unmute. No. Great stuff. Thanks, guys.
Over to Ray, N0KEG.
You're 5'9", 73.
You
All right,
studying?
QSL?
He's listening about meteor scatter. He's studying. Doug, anything else from you?
Well, now you know my original call sign and wonder why I changed it. Yeah. Everybody, 73, everybody.
Roger that. Paul, you still with us, or AC5 Sugar? Or not.
I think he's gone.
All right. Anyone else? Any final comments from anyone anywhere? Please call now.
No, just looking forward to field day. It's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully see everybody up there.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Dan, for what a great presentation, and thanks, Paul, for the warm-up act, and what a great meeting. Rough start, but strong finish. So very happy with the outcome there. So 73, everybody. Have a great night.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you.
73.
See you at field day.
73, everyone.
And the library has closed. Thank you, Robert.